Who is Nick Mitchell?
The Daylight Donuts guy.
I don't even know, man.
He's ridiculous, but I like it.
You mean the donut or the guy? Because I know both.
Nick Mitchell can go die in a hole.
Nick Mitchell is a hero, bred for his magical powers. He knows witchcraft.
The guy with the eyebrows and the donuts, that guy?
I've been thinking for a while now, how you have me still. Playing with my mind now, darling, hope you got your fill.
So, here at Benedictine College, we have a tradition. There's a little place, a little wonderful place called Daylight Donuts that opens at 2 a.m. every weekend. And since I've been here last year and into this year, I have not missed a weekend. And apparently, that is quite a feat, according to some.
Yeah, Nick definitely did that. Made it to Daylight every week since freshman year. Actually, before freshman year, since tour weekend. As far as we know, no one's ever done that before. He did miss 1 week, but the owners were too sick to open. Their fates are intertwined. You cannot have one without the other.
See, what you have to understand is, contrary to popular belief, this isn't just about Nick Mitchell slamming donuts down his face, okay? Although for the rest of society, maybe it is for them. But for Nick Mitchell, this is definitely something greater. It is a religious experience. Daylight Donuts is sort of a mecca, a religious pilgrimage, if you will. Akin to having to go, perhaps, to weekly mass every Sunday if you're a Catholic. This is what Nick Mitchell's life is about. It brings him enlightenment, it brings him power, it brings him all that he lives for.
The thing is, I didn't like who I was before I came to Daylight. I didn't know who I was. I was lost. And then out of the depths I cried for Daylight. You can find that in Psalms.
The question of this particular young man and his fascination, his obsession with the Daylight Donuts, correct? Such obsessions are relatively unusual. Normally, if an individual is going to become obsessed about something like that, it's not something as transient as the donut or a cinnamon roll or the filled Long John. They will obsess about something which is more enduring and persistent. So, by nature, this very obsession with the donuts is distinctly uncharacteristic of an obsessive personality, which suggests to me that there's something much deeper and more pervasive here for this individual.
Well, living with Nick is interesting. He's definitely very messy, you know. I wasn't a messy person before I met him, but after, he sort of degrades the, quality of the room somewhat, I guess.
Matthew doesn't have any problems with me. Neither does my ex. I mean, we get along fine.
I used to date Nick Mitchell. But I always felt like he loved Daylight Donuts more than me. So I gave him an ultimatum. I said, you can either have me or you can have Daylight Donuts. He didn't even think about it. Now I'm alone.
You can go die, Nick Mitchell!
Consider the object of the obsession itself, the donut. We have the donut. It's soft and warm and rich and sweet and delicious and tasty, but also so transient, so ephemeral. It harkens back to the experience of the baby at the breast. You have the mother's milk, which is warm and sweet, yet ephemeral, and the child has to work so vigorously to acquire what they need, but then they are viciously, brutally torn from the breast. The mother has other demands, other children. She simply falls asleep on the couch and drops the baby on the floor, which may or may not be a factor in this young man's case. That's for another discussion.
See, music is a big part of the whole daylight experience. You know, it's really the thing, the glue that holds us together. You know, that brings us to daylight. You know, they as they say, you know, make a joyful noise unto daylight. You know, it's a spiritual thing, and we sing on the way down. You know, I mean, Mike gets there and he raps for his food out of pure passion for daylight, for music. You know.
Lover's Eyes.
Cannot understand what's happening. Not gonna rap, but I kinda get sappy. Romantics don't understand them. Everybody thinks I'm gonna endear them. Hey baby, I hit up the wall. Hey, I'm gonna show you up basketball. Go Levi, you got it all right. But baby, I'm getting nervous, real uptight. Hey, come and drink that soda. I think I'll pour you another. Hey, Cartagoda. Get me in that black and white, baby. Hey, put a flame in.
My passion for daylight is such that I have written a couple songs about daylight, if you would like to hear.
See, Nick's usual order is a jelly roll, cream cheese and strawberry filling. And, he's ordered this so many times that it's become, the Nick Mitchell. It's actually named after him. Now, the naysayers will tell you, well, this is just a donut. But I say different. This is no ordinary donut. To Nick Mitchell, well, this is his nirvana. His hammer of the gods, if you will. When he takes a bite, the first bite screams, Valhalla, I am coming. And people say, well, Mike, I just don't understand. And I say, well, you have to watch him eat it. You just have to see it. The look in his eyes, it almost overcomes him with fear and with might. It's a powerful thing.
One word to describe Nick Mitchell. Indecisive. The guy can't choose anything, you know. He's strawberry, cheesecake, cream cheese. So I'm like, hey, let's do both. Strawberry cheesecake donut. And it kind of became a thing. So I guess I had a part in it, yeah. Had something to do with it. The Nick Mitchell.
So, the Nick Mitchell, it's like it's like fairy tears running in rivers down your throat.
It's okay, I guess.
Like, when you eat it's like a big bug that explodes in your mouth that tastes like delicious things.
I mean, it's a donut.
Oh, man, it's like unicorns tap dancing on your tongue.
You know, I'm actually not that fond of the Nick Mitchell.
It's like gold that's made of dough. It's like, yeah.
The donut becomes a symbolic manifestation of the child's frustration at the breast. So they return to the donut repeatedly, seeking a return to this warm, fat-laden, delicious sweetness that they lost when they lost their access to the breast.
Sure. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is glazed, and she's buying the stairway to daylight. It was a dark and stormy night. Not really.
Nick and I were in Washington, D.C. Decided that, hey, there's a tobacco shop in Union Station we heard about, so we decided to check it out. Went in there, and we found a couple cigars for a reasonable price.
Friday night came about, and we were going to do our weekly pilgrimage to daylight. And we thought it would be a good idea to smoke our cigars as we walked.
Evidently, you're supposed to smoke cigars slowly, and not while you're walking.
Now, mind you, these cigars were big cigars that could have been smoked in, probably should have taken us 45 minutes, but we got them in 15.
So we get down there, and it's about a 15-minute walk. And Nick's done by the time we get to daylight, and I'm just finishing. And I'm starting to feel a little weird.
So they come in. They were so weird too. Like they're just like, oh my god, oh, I'm so high on my cigar. Oh, I love the cigar.
We're at daylight, so of course we get the donuts. So you have to get the donuts when you go to daylight.
You know, I got a big frickin' jelly roll thing.
Now, Nick turned a very strange shade of green. So did Ethan.
Ethan just disappears. Look, we didn't even notice he was gone.
So I went to the bathroom subtly and puked. And then came back to the table, acted like nothing happened.
And I didn't realize until later that he was puking. And that, because that would have been a little helpful.
Michaela convinced Nick that he should drive back with us and not walk back because he was looking pretty sick.
What was I supposed to do? He was green.
And I was like, yeah, I should probably get a ride back. And I got in the front seat of his car.
Well, Ethan had been in the bathroom vomiting his guts out. Didn't, think to tell us that as he saw Nick climbing into my car. Yeah, love you too, Ethan.
So we're riding along, normal day. Nick's not feeling great, but, that's pretty normal too.
I remember I was sitting in the middle, and it was Megan was sitting to my left, and Michaela was sitting to my right in the back seat.
So I've got the perfect view of Nick, because he's right up in the passenger seat on the right hand. So I'm sitting there minding my own business, and then I hear Nick say something like, I think I'm going to be sick.
And the best part was Lawrence's panic in his voice. He was just like, and he just sounded terrified out of his mind.
I say, oh, do you need me to roll down the window, get out? So, I start pulling over.
And he's like, yeah, oh no, I think I'm gonna throw up. I think I'm gonna throw up. And so Lawrence starts rolling down the window, but you can hear the little window motor engage, but it's frozen shut.
In that moment, everything stopped. A single word flew through my mind.
Vomit spewing
all over the door.
And it just made a terrible sound, and the sound alone almost made me puke. It was so bad. I couldn't see it. Thank God. Michaela could.
I'm sitting right behind Nick, and I see it in the gap between the seat and the window. Just chunks splattering against the door.
Which I get a wonderful view of.
It looked like oatmeal from the calf. It was pretty nasty. It didn't smell great either.
And Lawrence was like, oh God!
Greg and Michaela were sitting behind Nick, try not to laugh their asses off.
I was laughing so hard, like Mikhail and I were like leaning into each other, just trying our hardest not to laugh out loud. I've never tried that hard to not laugh out loud before in my life. The whole time I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
I realize, after a few seconds, that Nick had my camera bag at his feet. And so my immediate reaction to go,
Did it get on my camera?
Luckily it didn't. Any vomit that went on the floor landed on Nick's coat first, so my camera was safe. Unlike Nick's coat.
But the best part was, we're driving along, Lawrence has this moment of realization.
His sister would have to sit in that seat the next day. We're halfway up 2nd Street and he shouted,
Yes! Silver linings, my friends! Silver linings!
And it was kind of gross, a little, and he was so happy about it. But nonetheless, it made it even that much funnier, if you can imagine.
Probably the funniest moment of my life, not gonna lie.
We drive the rest of the way back to campus, another like half mile or whatever it is, and he's just got puke on his lap, on the floor, on the dash, on the door.
So then we finally made it back to BC, which was wonderful because we all got out and we were all half gagging, and that was wonderful.
I cleaned off his door after a million apologies.
Megan was kind enough to run in and grab 2 or 3 canisters of Clorox bleach wipes from her dorm room.
Lots and lots of Clorox wipes.
We spent a good long time cleaning that, like longer than I remember it being. It was probably 15 or 20 minutes that we sat there cleaning that.
I'm pretty sure there's still a few chunks in my speaker system. Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that's basically it.
And that was my experience watching Nick puke in Lawrence's car.
Well, I suppose you could say it was kind of my fault, the whole puking incident. Did I realize that smoking a cigar and then eating a donut was a bad idea? No. Did I convince Nick to get in the car?
It's still a pretty damn funny story to this day.
I will admit, there have been a few nights where I have doubted, where my faith has been shaken and tested. But my friend Mike is always offering words of encouragement that always remind me of who I am and what is really important in life.
My God, why have you abandoned me?
Get up!
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Get up, you son of a bitch!
Cut me, mate. Cut me.
You pathetic.
I can't do
Get
it.
up!
I can't do it.
Be the person you are! Come on! You gotta do it! Let's go!
I can't do it. I can't
Let's
do
go!
it. I can't.
Look at you. You're a pathetic wretch. Get up.
It's too much.
Come on, do it! Come on, will yourself! Let's go! Will yourself. Attaboy. There you go. There you go. I got you.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. Come on. Keep the faith, buddy. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Come on. Keep the faith.
Honestly, I don't know what I'd do though, Mike.
Essentially, what this young man's problem is that He was not given enough opportunities to nurse. He was famished at the breast, and now here he is, trapped in the endless cycle, seeking this donut breast, which he can never truly satisfy, because the window is past. He is a grown man. He can never actually acquire it anymore, and so he will continue the struggle, sacrificing all other pleasures in this vain attempt to satisfy his craving for the breast milk, and the donut is the best he can do. Maybe he can buy some milk while he's there. Might help a little.
In the end, daylight is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I was lost. I was in a dark place. I was at a point in my life where I really couldn't see the light. But here, I saw daylight. Literally, I saw a great beacon of hope in the darkness of my life, and it changed my life. It gave me strength. And here I know that no matter what happens, I will keep marching forward unto daylight.
I've been thinking for a while now how you have me still, playing with my mind now, darling. Hope you got your fill. 'Cause this train is leaving, it's rolling down the track, saying there ain't no turning back. And I'm a simple man, it's true, but giving all I had to you really don't leave much for me. Sorry, woman, I had to let you be. 'Cause this train is leaving, it's rolling down the track, singing there ain't no turning back.
Guys, I'm like restored to my former glory. I was lost, and now I am found. A part of me had died, but here I am complete. I am myself. I am Nick Mitchell.